Right. Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the Collins Punk Rock World podcast. I'm Colin from Collins Punk Rock World and CPRW Records. Today I'm joined once again by Lara, and returning to the podcast are Robin and Brett, who have kindly interrupted their holiday to join us today. Like yesterday, they did a bungee jump off the world's tallest bridge, which terrifies me even thinking about it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like before we start, like how was that? Why would you do that to yourself?
It's been one of the things that I've wanted to do for a long time now. I jumped off. I did my first bungee in Soweto in Joburg a couple of years ago, and since then I've just wanted to do it over and over again. And because Below Cried's Bridge in the Tsikhama is the highest suspension bridge bungee in the world, like it's just been something that I want to do. Like, who wouldn't want to do that? And so,
me.
Yeah,
he convinced
and
me.
I convinced Robin to do it with me. I got to go first, and then I got to watch
go last,
and then I got to watch Robin do it herself. It was amazing. It's an amazing experience.
Do you know what it is? Is when you first jump, your body goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm falling," and then you just are like, "Oh no, I'm good. This feels amazing," and then you stop because you're attached to something.
Yeah.
And then a very kind gentleman will come and pull you up again so that you don't hang there forever. So overall, I would recommend, even
Great
though
experience.
it is quite scary.
Oh my gosh. I don't think I could even get like to the starting point of that. And we've got like a couple of mountains. I'm in Wales, we've got quite a few mountains. But I think in the scale of mountains, they're essentially just hills. This one I went at called Pen y Fan, and it took me 3 attempts to actually get to the top. The first one, I kind of got 3/4 of the way up before I got to the main kind of peak of it. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, I'm afraid of heights. I forgot about this. So I kind of froze on the side of the mountain. I was there for ages, and I could not move. I couldn't turn around. I couldn't go forward. I couldn't go sideways. And the only way that I could move again was my husband said to me, either you move or we get mountain rescue and you've got to live with the shame of being in the Daily Mail. So I was like, oh shit, okay, well, I better move. So that kind of got me down, but no, I'm not good with the heights. Well done, guys. I could not do that.
Yeah. I live in Bedford and there aren't hills here, so we're basically on like sea level flat ground and I'm safe. So today's podcast is about playlists, because we're currently putting together our end of year playlist of like the best songs from 2020, which will be released at some point between Christmas and New Year, in that sort of time frame where nothing happens. So me and Lara sort of had a conversation last week about playlists in general, and now she wants to continue it, so I can stop talking.
Yeah, no, it was just sort of, we were talking about how we choose songs to go on a playlist, and then in what order we would kind of get them in. And, you know, is it a case of you have one artist, you put 3 or 4 songs on a playlist, or do you choose one song to go on there and do you base the rest of the playlist on that first song you put in? Does the playlist change? So it was sort of how we order the songs, how we choose the songs to go on them in the first place. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of how we got the idea of the podcast, I think.
It's basically just a really nerdy conversation where we're like, we could have a chat about this, and then I message Robin and Brett because they're nerds as well, and here we are. So I guess
the perfect mixtape or playlist is an art.
Definitely is. Like I guess we're all of the age where before, like, we had like Spotify or Apple Music playlists, we had mixtapes and mix CDs. There's that, I guess, obviously where we all started making them. Like, although I don't think I ever really made mixtapes, but
I didn't make a mixtape, but I think I know I've recorded stuff from the radio, and I can actually tell you, I remember which was the first, I don't know what the song was, but I know the first artist I recorded onto tape, and it was in my mum's kitchen, and it was the Backstreet Boys. And I wasn't sure how it worked. Yeah. I wasn't sure like how it worked, so I pressed like record and play or whatever to kind of record it. And then my mum and my sister came in like after walking my dog, and I was like, can you be quiet, I'm recording something. I didn't realize that it couldn't pick up sound like externally. I learned, so it's fine.
That's brilliant. Yeah, so like why did you start like making them, do you think? Was there reasons, like themes for them, or?
Initially, I think it was just to kind of have the songs I liked, like sort of to hand, I suppose, because I was like quite young. I wasn't like old enough to go and buy my own CDs or whatever. That's it. That's kind of, I think, how I started it. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, because I feel like every friendship group has this, where they've got that one person who is basically DJ, regardless of everyone's music tastes, and that's why I kind of like would like go around to friends or go on like a road trip or something, and like, I've got a CD, guys, knowing that none of them really like punk music. I would force it on them anyway, and I guess that's where like Colin's Punk Rock Well comes from as well. Is what my need of showing people music that I really like.
Yeah.
I guess that's where I sort of started doing it, and
yeah, that's kind of like how it's kind of continued on, I think, as well, isn't it?
Definitely. What about Robin and Brett?
I think I started probably for girls. I don't know.
Got one, like, solid evidence.
Yeah, I think, like mixed CDs and stuff in my life came about when I had friends or family friends that would have like tons of punk rock CDs and share them with me, and I just didn't have the space or the time or the energy to copy or burn all of them. So it would be a case of picking songs and creating CDs for myself. And then from there, I would share that with my group of friends, which included Robin at the time. And yeah, so I guess picking songs that I liked from like those old school punk bands that I grew up listening to like put on a CD and completely destroy from then on. Like it was the best.
Brett made the best mix CDs like in high school. Like he was it. It was like, what's Brett's new mix? What's he gonna get? And then I would pretty much use it as like a one-stop shop. So I'd be like, okay, I really like track 4, more like that, please. And like Brett was definitely, even in my speech at our wedding, I was like, my music provider. Yes, he definitely.
I came up with covers and like track lists. He made everything.
He made me a burn of Newfound Glory, Sticks and Stones, and like everything was printed. Even the CD cover was like stuck on the CD, to the point that I took it to someone's house to play it for them, and they were like, "That's the real thing," and I was like, "No, it's not."
But we don't condone music piracy at all.
Hey, if we could have got an actual copy of that here, we would have bought it. Anything we could find in a real CD shop, we bought. But like, being at the bottom of Africa,
it's a hard
line.
You've got to rely on mp3.com and.
But I think exactly like Colin said, if you want to introduce people to a genre, it's like, here's a mix. Like here's a bit of like pop punk, ska, bit of hardcore, like throw in some gypsy punk, like find what you like. And then I think what you're hoping is the person's going to say, oh, I loved these things. Yeah. And you can be like, oh, I've got bands for you, like over here. So
it's a bit like,
what a mix is really
it's like having your, like doing your own version of like the Punkaramas, isn't it? And like the Fat Wreck comps and
exactly. Yeah.
But with early songs.
It's like you always listen to those sorts of compilations, like the Fat compilations and Punkaramas that we grew up with, and it's like, I wouldn't have picked that song. I would have picked this song, and so it gives you that sense of control as well.
Yeah, and CPRW records as well. We'll throw that in with the legendary comps as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So, like, do you remember any other like favorites you've made? Like was to do mixtapes to start with, or mix CDs? Like, because I remember one of like my group of friends, like during like the summer, like when we're all in college, and like we went to the beach like every single Monday in the summer without fail, and regardless of weather and tide times, we just went to the beach. And like, though I obviously being friendship group DJ, I brought the CD. It was like this, we called it like the Beach Monday CD, and it was just filled with like must have, what year was it? Around 2003, 2004. And it's just all like stuff like Green Day and Alistair and like all that sort of pop punk stuff that was just, I would relentlessly make them listen to every Monday over the summers. So the fact that they're still ingrained in my head, like all of those songs, and hopefully their heads as well.
Yeah. I don't really have one that sticks out to me because, like you, I made quite a lot. But I do remember when I really got upset that kind of went missing. I was in school and it was I taped "And Out Come the Wolves" Rancid from my cousin's CD, and I had that in my cassette player in my school bag, and I stupidly kept it in, the outside pocket, not the big main bit, the outside kind of pocket there. And someone nicked it out the back, and I was more upset that my Rancid tape had gone missing rather than like my cassette player and my headphones and my phone. I was like, oh no, I wanted to borrow the CD and tape it all again, But that's kind of one that I do remember having that went missing, other than the Backstreet Boys.
Well, hopefully the person that took it benefited.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Was it Slick Shoes?
Yeah, I got mugged and but that wasn't a mixtape. That was my actual.
Yeah, it was his
CD.
actual CD.
Yeah.
He was really sad.
Aww.
But anyway.
Oh. So South
Yeah,
Africa.
I guess like for me, my to like start with like really memorable mixtapes. I don't know. Probably I think when we started going to international festivals, like I think Fest 10, we created some mix playlists, not really mixtapes or CDs at that point, because there were so many bands that we could see at that point. And it was a case of how do we even pick from a scheduling point of view, and obviously like outside of the bands that we really wanted to see. So we would generally create massive playlists of all of the bands that sort of sounded interesting and create that, and from there, like build our schedule and what it was that we wanted to see at Fest 10, other than obvious ones. So yeah, I think that's the ones those are the ones that sort of stick out in my memory. Because I think the mixtapes that I created in high school and like college,
I can't even remember.
But
I'll just say one that I really appreciated, and it just speaks to Brett, is last year I bought a new car. And Brett made a playlist of songs just about driving and traveling and cars for us to play the first time I drove my car, which I just thought it was like just beautiful. So that like, don't be afraid to go theme, guys. It can be really fun, but challenging.
Right, so I guess like from like mixed CDs, you do then move on to like playlists on Spotify and Apple Music, but for me, getting the big reason I got Spotify in the first place, so I was always quite against Spotify because, let's be honest, they're not very good to the musicians and bands that use they don't pay them very well. So now I was always very much, Bandcamp's the best, and it still is the best, but I just wish it would have a feature where you could make your own playlists to use on like your phone and stuff, which I guess you can if you download all the music onto your phone, but that takes up space. So I basically got Spotify for the playlist features, like so I could build my own, and I've been obviously we do loads on Colin's Punk Rock World, but obviously they do the curated playlists as well. But what are your thoughts on those kind of things?
I think like generally playlists, I don't know, I'm a bit, it's good size and bad size, right? I mean, like on the good side of it, it's, I think as long as, and I read about it earlier, as long as like an artist, the sound fits the criteria that you're listening to, the chance of them getting on, being suggested in a playlist for you to listen to is as equal as kind of any artist on there. But obviously the problem is, you're going to be on this massive playlist, you might skip the song, and when the place is like super, super long, it's so easy to lose a song, like, 'cause you can just like zone out or whatever, unless the song really catches you. And also like it kind of feeds into that kind of one hit kind of wonder kind of mentality as well, where you might listen to that one song, but you won't then go on and become like more of a fan of the artist, because that's kind of the mentality it's encouraging, I guess. But saying that, I found loads of bands that I've kind of fallen in love with from playlists that have been suggested to me or made for me. So yeah, I don't know. I'm in kind of both camps with it, I guess. Yeah, I think they're good and bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do definitely have like their advantage. I think
Yeah.
with like for bands, it's probably the best way to get exposure at the moment. Obviously, 'cause you can't get, especially because there are obviously many bands. So and you don't have gigs and stuff where you can sort of put your music out there at the moment.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you make a really good point about the worrying thing whenever one song is picked, right, is, you know, some bands, sure, a lot of their songs sound quite similar, but a lot can actually come down to, which song has made it onto the playlist, you know. So, you know, I think definitely great for discovering, but like I think really bad if you're just kind of sticking with playlists all the time, because then you're not actually getting the kind of whole picture. And I think I agree with you, like in terms of Spotify, that is like I think its main feature is that Spotify is so good at recommendations.
Yeah, the recommendation engine is insane.
And so that is the really amazing thing. But I think, I suppose, just to piggyback on what Colin was saying, like I think go check out the whole band and then like go support them in all the other ways that you like can go and support them. But that's just such a great way to like find something new.
Yeah, I guess like the curated playlists, I mean, you've got to know that they're not created in general. They're not created by some human, right? So they're created by an algorithm that's picking songs at random by bands that other people that listen to similar music to you are listening to. So sometimes like they can be like weird choices. Like it's not the hits, or it could be the hit, but like it could be a live, oh, my voice is going weird. Like a live version of a song, and it just doesn't fit. Excuse me. So yeah, sometimes it can be a bit random, and it just like sort of takes you out of the whole sort of like what's the zone of listening to something new or finding something new.
Oh yeah, I've totally been in a playlist and I've been like, this is good, and then like it goes a weird like diversion, and I'm like, why am I listening to like hardcore hip hop? Like I was in like a pop punk place and I've landed here, and this like it's not my vibe right now. So yeah, and then that can kind of take you out of it as well.
There's a good playlist flows nicely, right? It's got a good sequencing.
Can I ask a question in terms of when you guys go into those playlists? So say Spotify is like your daily mix. Do you just hit play or do you hit random?
On the daily mix, I tend to just hit play because I don't really know what it's going to suggest to me. But generally, if I know what's on a playlist, I do just click shuffle,
I never ever listen to the Spotify curated ones because I have a million of like my own ones we've made, or I'm reviewing something when I'm listening to music. And and for me, when I want to discover a new band, personally, I prefer Bandcamp to do that on the discovery. Because I like to put the work in. But I've got my Spotify like made for you page up here, and what have we got? What am I looking for?
That's actually a good idea. We should look at comparing Spotify and Apple.
Made for you.
What are we looking for? Oh, it's my summer rewind. Yeah, I got like 6 daily mixes apparently.
Yeah, and they're all different.
Yeah.
All different kind of genres, I guess, slightly.
We'll go with daily mix one and see who we've got. Oh, time's running out. We'll have to add that in a minute.
My daily mix one is weird.
We've got Latterman, kid you not,
Good
Bomb the
one.
Music Industry, American Television, The Eradicator, then My Chemical Romance.
Nice.
Then that's a weird one in this mix, but
Whoa!
What's happened? Why are we woeing? What's going on?
My favorites mix consists of Dear Landlord, Pulley, Banner Pilot, Flatliners, Streetlight, Bump Ups, Reconciler, and some more.
Yeah, I've got
That's a pretty good mix, actually. I will listen to that.
Mine's kind of weird. I've got like Screech and Weasel next to the Wonder Years and Rival Schools, so I don't know what's going on with that one. That's kind of weird.
That's pretty diverse.
It is. It is. But I thought they would have maybe put, I don't know, Rival Schools on a different one that's a bit more Rival Schoolsy. I don't know, maybe.
Well, I've got Avril Lavigne.
Mine sort of goes from sort of Broadway calls through Brian Fallon to Make War to War and Women.
It's kind of like your best of 2020 so far.
Yeah, pretty much.
Spanish love songs.
There's a bit of Reviver, some Lagwagon, Kid You Not. Didn't make my list, but was still excellent.
No spoilers.
Spoilers, Robin. We're not releasing your top 10 till next week.
I actually found Reviver through a playlist that was made for me, so that's a fun little comment on that one. Yeah, I only found them like this year. My cousin lives in Taiwan. He saw them play out there a few years ago, and he sent it over to me. I was like, oh, these guys are awesome. And also you lead on to what else they've kind of done. So I was like, oh yeah, they're part of like a bigger thing.
Yeah, like the Reviver sort of family tree and how that spreads.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. But
it's awesome.
The talent where that just like stems from like Latimer and then just goes down and out. And but I do wish Reviver would do some more stuff.
Oh, yeah,
definitely.
If you're listening, please.
But I guess we're gonna take a quick 1 second break before Zoom times us out, and we'll be back in a second. We usually do an advert. CPRW Records is still a thing, and please go and buy stuff and support the charities. In January, we are releasing Hidden Gems 2, which is our sort of last year we did Hidden Gems, and it was essentially bands that have around 300 likes on Facebook and putting them out to the world. So yeah, we're well on the way with getting Hidden Gems 2 done, so that'll be out in January, and we'll see you in a second. Welcome back to part 2 of the Collins Punk Rock World playlist. We're still talking about playlists because only 30 seconds has passed in the real recording world of this. So obviously we all like to make playlists. Do you have what reasons do you have for making playlists? Do you?
Mine is to I think like most of us just share it with other people. I do listen obsessively when I'm making the playlist, and I'll listen to it over and over and over and over again. But then once I've sent it out to people, I don't usually listen to it again. I'll be on to making the next playlist. And I used to on my Instagram, I used to make a weekly playlist of what I've been listening to that week, and I used to kind of name it based on sort of what the maybe what the genre was, I guess. So I would kind of obsessively listen to those and not listen to them again. But it stressed me out a lot because I kind of got really obsessive about it. And I was like, it has to be perfect. It has to be perfect. So I stopped doing it. That's all I was doing all week. I wasn't listening to anything I wanted to other than that. So yeah, that's why I make them, is more to share with other people. But I do tend to listen more to playlists people have sent me than I make myself. It's a long-winded way of saying it.
I mean, I think I'm similar. The time that I've spent making a playlist is generally like I had a colleague at work and she named a couple bands that I was like, oh, I definitely have a few other things that you'll like. And I made a playlist for her. But that was more towards her taste. So it's probably not something I'm going to go back and listen to. Or I'll make for Brett something that I think he'll like, or maybe based on memories that we have. We were both really dorky. For our 10-year anniversary, both made each other a playlist. That was our gift to each other. I think I did a song per year.
Yeah.
I did 10 songs, a song per year. So I think, very often with other people in mind. But then, sometimes for myself, generally for things that I'm going to be doing. So yeah, like maybe like a running playlist or a workout playlist, something to get me like really pumped, something up tempo. But yeah, I think also often with other people in mind.
Yeah, so I think. Go on.
Oh, I was going to say I very seldomly make playlists for other people, especially at work. I mean, I know that most of the people at work are not going to like the music that I like, so I'm not even going to bother. I make most of my playlists for Robin. And yeah, but I also like obsess over them. It's got like the flow has to be right. So I think the last playlist I made was for when we were going to come to MPF 2020. And it's like everything has to be right, and it takes me weeks to do it. It takes me ages to do it, so I don't do it very often.
It's amazing.
But generally it works out. And for myself, I don't ever make playlists for myself. Yeah, because I usually, if I want to listen to like a playlisty type thing, I'll just click shuffle on my songs, and I trust my own music taste.
Do you have like an optimum length of a playlist? Do you think that's the right amount of songs to have?
Sure, that's a hard one. I guess it depends on what the playlist is. Like when we did our 10-year playlists, obviously 10 songs is a good thing, and then a bonus song or bonus track just for old school vibes. Yeah, but yeah.
When I turned 21, Brett made me a playlist with 21 songs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if I was gonna make like a playlist to drive 6 hours, I'd make it like as long as I possibly could.
6 hours is probably enough.
But if I was gonna make something, for like a person, then I'm probably gonna be very specific, and it's going to be like max like 45 minutes. I'm not really going to expect them to sit much more than that. I think they'll get a bit bored or just feel like, oh, this is insane, I can't possibly get into this.
See, I would go with like for the length, for like if it's like a short, because I've got a couple of absolutely massive playlists where I just sort of whack on shuffle and go about my business. But like if it's like a themed playlist, I tend to aim for like 80 minutes because that's what you'd have on like when you'd burn one on a CD.
Or
Good point.
I can't let go of the past.
Yeah, I remember those days when space and time was limited.
It's like it's about 25 songs.
Yeah.
Sometimes you pick the shortest song on one album so you could fit in
the long song on the other one. Yeah.
Essentially, The Decline has never been put on a playlist.
No, it's a playlist in itself.
Yeah.
That's a dedicated moment you're taking right there.
What else have we got on my list of words? What do you think like are the downsides of playlists, especially like curated ones?
I think like the only kind of points I got down is sort of like what I mentioned earlier, is how it's easy to sort of lose if you're not fully zoned in, or if you got something else in your mind. It's easy to miss a song and miss an artist that you'd really like. But also how it's sort of, I don't know, like I don't want to get too deep on it and be like, is it changing the way we listen to music or anything? Because it is so easy just to stream one song now. But I think it's like the concern, I don't even know if it's a concern. I think because obviously we probably all grew up at the time where you found a band and you loved that band. It wasn't just that song that you'd love. So then you go and you get the merch, you go and get the CD, you go and like support them on tour or whatever. But I think it's easier now to just not do that because you can just press next.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Definitely,
and although it's great for exposure, I think the downside to that is it's so easy to just like people to not respect kind of that you've done, like you put a song out there, you know?
I guess because there is so much, there's a lot of, you can just listen to something and throw it away and never remember it again because there's like so much choice and options now.
Yeah.
It's probably, is it weird to say there's too much option? Because it's great, there's loads and loads of bands putting out lots of great music, but
yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
Very easy to get lost in the shuffle. That's the best way of putting it.
Yeah, that's it. That's probably a better way of putting it. Definitely.
Which my thing, because you see a lot of on like the Facebook groups and stuff, like people say, "Hey, please be in our who wants to be in our playlist?" And you get all these bands, obviously commenting and saying, "Hey, our band would love to be in this playlist." I wonder if there gets a bit of like competitiveness amongst the other bands because they obviously know the best way to get exposure at the moment is these playlists. Then I do like, will there be jealousy maybe? It's like, oh, how come that band's been put in this? Like, especially I suppose the Spotify curated ones, especially like because they're the ones that obviously the bigger ones. So I think
it's still a community, right? So everyone should be working for the community rather than like individually. Create a competitive environment kind of sucks.
Yeah, well, I think like with the UK DIY scene, it is very, very like everyone looks out for each other. If someone does well, everyone sort of pats them on the back. There doesn't. I mean, if there's any jealousy, it is behind closed doors. But I wouldn't imagine there's a lot, which is a good thing. But yeah.
I suppose, but it can always become political. Like who's included and who's not, who deserves the extra airtime, who doesn't. And I suppose you want to try and just avoid going down that hole, because in the end, as you say, the best is just to kind of lift everyone up. Yeah.
Do you like to think if a band has been put on a playlist, then obviously people, if they like that band, they'll go to the bands that like Spotify recommends are similar in taste to them. Yeah. Which hopefully then obviously like will spread the love for everyone rather than just the one band. Because
the biggest issue like around those curated playlists are that they are created by like algorithms and stuff. Like,
have you just died? You've gone blah, 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 blah. That's what the noise I'm getting.
Yep.
Oh dear. We'll keep thinking all this here. This is just funny.
Mixy.
Oh no! Why? Are we back?
You're back. You're back. Hopefully, in the recording, that picked up what you were saying clearly. Because what I was getting was this.
About as much sense as I'm used to.
So what was that, Brett?
I was saying, like, the curated playlists on Spotify are created by algorithms, and I think that takes away from the history of mixtapes and mixed CDs being personal and created by humans for other humans. And so like the curated playlists takes away from that entirely. So as useful and as convenient as they are, because I mean, we all find new music and really cool things through that, it still takes away from that personal aspect. And I think that's the biggest thing for me.
That's where something like, Colin's Punk Rock World like totally comes in, because you have someone who's like, I listen to lots of different music, and the playlist that we'll put together, that's lots of people saying like, this is what I would recommend, something that you would really enjoy, that I would recommend to my friends.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it brings back that personal element to it.
I think like without sort of tooting on our own horns too much, like I think the playlists we make, like our monthly ones, they're quite good because they are very varied in because like we all have different like favorite songs, like sort of different types of punk that we enjoy the most. So when we put those playlists together, they do tend to be quite varied. So say if I like put a ska song on and then Brett puts the skate punk song on, like someone who would listen to the ska song wouldn't necessarily always go check out a skate punk song, but if it's on a shuffle or it's just the next song, they go, oh, this is all right as well, or this is terrible, depending on. Then they might go, oh, ska, and they'd be wrong. but yeah, so playlists I like are brilliant in that aspect because you can have is the best way. Is a very good way of finding new music. And
Yeah, it is a good day. Going off to what you were saying, Brett, about the algorithms, interestingly, my cousin sent me a playlist. I think he got too lazy to kind of make his own one for me, because we usually send sort of one a month over to each other. But he was like, oh, I made this playlist for you. It's essentially just all the songs Spotify have recommended me. And I listened to it and I was like, this is exactly the same that they've recommended me as well, because we're obviously listening to the same music. So it is obviously just that there's no personalization really in it. So yeah, I've just got 2 of the same playlists now on my Spotify.
It's when you send it back and
Oh yeah, just
it's
keep
the
going back
exact same
and forth.
songs, and he's like, "Have you listened to my playlist?" And I'm like, "No, what? Don't do that." Yeah, I think we've maybe exhausted playlists now. Have you got any favourite playlists at the moment you're enjoying that you've made, or?
I mean, I've got the one I listen to almost every day is my running playlist. It's about 4 hours long, which isn't that long really, but I do add to it all the time. But it is on shuffle, and I'll run maybe an hour, so I don't get to listen to the same songs every day. So I by default that's my favorite, because that's what I play all the time. But like I said, I don't really listen to my own playlists. It's usually what other people make for me I listen to. Yeah.
I'll just say same. I have different running playlists. I have like fun running, like I just want to enjoy myself, and I have like I want to like go my fastest time today.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Human Project on that list. They're my like #1 running band. So I probably have about 5 or 6 running playlists that I kind of shuffle through, and that's probably what I listen to most. Yeah, for sure.
I think my playlist at the moment is songs of 2020 that I created for Colin's Punk Rock World, and I guess just myself. And then my Christmas music. That's pretty much what I'm listening to at the moment, if I'm going to a playlist and not an album.
Yeah, that's what we've been listening to on holiday.
Yeah.
The best of 2020 and Christmas.
Oh, not best of 2020. Brett's 2020. Yeah.
There's some Robin in there.
There's some Robin in there as well.
Is that what you sent me for the massive end of year playlist?
Yeah. Pretty much.
With Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
You're a bad influence on Emma. You're a bad influence on Emma. Yeah, so I've got a couple. I spoke about this one, I think, on the previous playlist. So I've got my bands I've seen live playlist, which is basically from every gig I've been to, I put like a song from each band I've seen at that gig on this massive playlist. And I found that's been really good during like this year, especially because it's obviously a playlist that's attached with loads of memories. So if I'm like, I miss things, I can put this on. I can be like, I remember when this happened and it was a fun time. And so that's one I use. And I made a massive ska playlist earlier in the year, which is a lot of songs. I forget how many now, but that's just a fun one to have on, just to put you in a good mood as well. Yeah, nice. So yeah, that's the playlists podcast bit done. And we also thought, because this is the Robin thought, because I don't like Christmas, but Robin thought, because this is going to be our last playlist before Christmas, or podcast even before Christmas, too many P's, that we'd talk about some like our favourite Christmas songs as well. As this is Robin's bright idea, over to Robin.
Take it away, Robin.
So I think there's obviously like lots of punk bands who have done like covers of Christmas songs, and I think we'll all have ones that we like more or less than others. I think probably that I think both of us still go back to all the time. If anyone is still listening to Reliant K, they did a really lovely 2 sort of Christmas albums, although one is sort of the deluxe version of the first. Yeah. And they, just to me, those are very, very fun, very well put together, very, really, really great Christmas albums. I'm trying to think of a favorite song on those. Yeah, they do a fun,
Yeah.
and they have a fun satirical one called Santa Claus is Thumbing to Town, which is basically Santa's having to like hitchhike. Because he lost his sled and
Reliant K humor.
Like it's just fun. It's favorite, but probably those two albums. Those come out every year without fail.
Bad Religions, Christmas songs.
No.
Oh no, our internet is unstable.
Are we still here?
You're still here? Bad Religion's
Oh,
Christmas
great.
album.
Plettenberg Bay internet. It's not
Not the
stable
best.
as home.
Anyway,
Anyway,
TripAdvisor, free
Bad
stuff.
Religions, Christmas song. Yeah.
Although Bad Religion's Christmas album strangely made up of a lot of hymns, which you would have thought it would be a lot of secular songs, but a lot of sort of more churchy sort of Christmas hymns, which, interesting choice, but works really well. I mean, that's a good album.
I mean, you can't argue with Bad Religion.
Can't argue with Bad Religion. But I think what you like, I like both, but I do like a little bit of like secular fun Christmas songs.
I think I prefer it when bands come up with their own like Christmas songs, like Link with I Won't Be Home, and like the new We Are the Union is really good.
Xmas from
Xmas
Newfound
from
Glory. The new We Are the Union song.
No Effects, Xmas has been X'd.
Yeah.
Like those are like more like, I don't know,
Fun.
original songs, not traditional. Like those are the Christmas songs. Like bands that take elements of Christmas songs, like the bells, or like we always try and spot like how to make any song Christmas, right? You just add those bells.
Sleigh bells. You just need sleigh bells.
Sleigh bells.
And you're
and
there.
Like a
jaunty
melody,
tune. Yeah.
some like really good melody, and it's a Christmas song. Doesn't matter what you're singing about; it can be a Christmas song. So I think I prefer those kinds of songs to the more traditional hymn type songs.
Yeah, I just
or
got up
the traditional covers rather of those hymns.
I just got up a playlist of like Christmas punk, and I'm just looking through now. It's got like Goldfinger have done Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. There's a couple of Master Intruder songs, Under the Mistletoe, Silent Night. The Mighty Mighty Bosstones, This Time of Year. I know that one.
Master Intruder is great.
What we got along here? Yeah, No Effects. Descendants have got Christmas Vacation. Newfound Glory, December's Here. Do you know that one?
That's not a great one.
Is it not? Okay.
Do Xmas rather.
Okay. Real Big Fish, Carol of the Beers. Obviously, you got Vandals, Oi to the World.
Oi to the World.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Classic.
No doubt have made more famous. What else we got? Ramones, Merry Christmas, the War is Over. That's a good one because it's the Ramones.
That's a good one.
Oh, there's another Newfound Glory one. Snow.
Know You for Name, Fairy Tale of New York as well.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a song that's been covered a lot. Treehouse Fire, they've done like a reggae version of that, which is really the problem. The big shame with that is you don't have the dual vocalist. It's just got what's the guy from Treehouse Fire's name? Sam. Yeah, he sings both parts, so that's a bit of a shame. But
yeah.
Do you know Treehouse Fire, Lara? They're from your neck of the woods, Wales. I think they're from Swansea.
No way. No, I haven't heard of that.
Oh, there's like a reggae band who come to South London a lot.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. What else? Chuck Reagan did a good cover with Fairy Tale New York as well with Emily Barker, who's like a folk singer who was on the revival tour. It is.
We're going to add that to our playlist immediately.
I'm not sure it's on. I somehow got an MP3 of it and I gave it to Emma, and she has uploaded it to YouTube. If you might be able to find it there, you'll see Emma's name underneath as the uploads. But I don't know if it's actually on any of the streaming services. Oh, My Chemical Romance.
We'll have a look.
All I Want for Christmas Is You. That's quite. A lot of punk bands have done Christmas songs.
I can't say I've ever heard of My Chemical Romance Christmas.
No.
I think I know that
There's
one.
a lot.
They love it.
There's a lot.
People
There we go. Well, do you have like favorite traditional Christmas songs? While we're here, let's not worry about punk
easy.
anymore.
Yeah, so Wizard, the Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day, absolute classic.
Nice.
Love that one. But just going to quickly mention the punk. My favourite one is Rubin's Christmas is Awesome, from like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. I don't know when it was out. That's a really good one as well. That's a lot of fun. It's got sleigh bells at the start, but that's like the only Christmassy bit to it. But it's a lot of fun. So I'd recommend that one. But yeah, Wizard I think is my favourite traditional non-punk Christmas song. Yeah.
I think I saw Me First and the Gimmies. Yeah, Gimmies cover that once.
Oh really?
Yeah, which was good fun. Obviously, it was around Christmas because it would have been weird otherwise. But
yeah.
It's off. This is probably going to make me look really, really ignorant. And I apologise now. But in South Africa, do you have like Wizard and stuff like that? Like, well, are they more UK? Like,
I think that's more UK.
I don't know. Wizard or,
I don't know.
I'm not going to sing it because the world doesn't need to hear that. But yeah.
We have where's Boney M from? Are they South African?
No.
I don't know.
No, I don't think
Every
so.
South African pretty much has a copy of Boney M's Christmas. I think that's like mandatory.
Yeah.
They revoke your citizenship if you don't own that. That's that. And then I suppose we have all the traditional ones. No, do you have a favorite?
No, I couldn't pick one.
Oh, maybe like
Jingle Bells.
maybe like no. Something like Deck the Halls is pretty jolly, and it's like get your stuff out, like get ready for like a good time. That's a pretty good
What's
one.
the song from Home Alone? That's a cool one.
Oh, that's Oh Holy Night or Carol of the Bells.
Carol of the Bells.
The one with
I'm gonna
bells?
pick that one.
Carol of the Bells
Carol
is
of the
good.
Bells.
That's solid.
I have no idea what that is.
Just watch Home Alone. and
Yeah,
it's-
you probably know it, I think, if you hear it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I do plan on watching Home Alone at some point over Christmas.
Bryce do a really lovely cover of Carol of the Bells
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
that I would recommend.
See, I'm a big fan of Stop the Cavalry. I think that's the best Christmas song,
That is a good one.
just because it's just really stupid
Stop
and
the
catchy.
Cavalry.
Yeah, it's da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-dum, like that. It's just a fun Holly.
All right,
Holly.
we'll go look that up. There's definitely a culture distinction that I'm picking up.
I mean, I don't even know if I know who like does it, but it comes on like at work because they're playing Christmas songs at the moment, and I'm so thankful I work outside of the shop, so I only have to hear bits of it. But that one comes on, and if I'm indoors, I'm like, oh, yeah, I like this one, and everyone's just like, oh, I hate you, Colin. But
when I worked in retail at the bookstore, I worked at a bookstore. I made us a Christmas playlist, and it was basically all like punk and rock and like indie covers. But we had to play Christmas music, and it was the only mix we had, so we played it every day. And it's like I think like there was like the Amberlin one was on there, and there were like a bunch of others that now if they come on, I actually struggle to listen to them because.
You heard them
I
so
heard
many
it for
times.
like a month straight through December, and it was horrific.
so I was talking with someone at work the other day, and I was like, has there actually been a new Christmas song in the last 30 years that's still played like every single year? Yeah, I've like The Darkness, but I don't
I
think
should say
that's...
The Darkness, yeah, but...
I've not heard that come on at work yet, but...
No, do you know, I haven't heard it. Only on like my Christmas playlist I've heard it, yeah.
Do you not know who The Darkness are? You're looking
I
stumped.
know, we know the band.
Okay,
but
good.
We believe in a thing called love, you know.
Yeah.
But no, we haven't heard a new Christmas song from them.
No. That's a good point. I don't know.
That was a good Christmas song, to be fair.
Yeah.
And I don't think we like, because in the UK, like Christmas #1 was always such a massive thing, and then X Factor ruined it.
Well, apparently that Rubin song, "Christmas is Awesome," was supposed to. They tried to get it a campaign going to get it as Christmas #1, but when it was entered into the charts or entered into the race or whatever, there was some like admin fuck up with it. So it was actually kind of disqualified and kind of taken out of the running for Christmas #1, which is a shame. Can you imagine if that was #1? That'd be mental.
I mean, Rage Against the Machine managed it, so
Yeah, that's true. They did.
which was incredible. I don't even like Rage Against the Machine that much, but I was like, go on.
Vote.
Yeah, but there's a wonderful poetry to a band like Rage Against the Machine being #1 at Christmas when like the commercial machine is in like full flow.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
Then what about, like, obviously this year's been a disaster from pretty much March to now, and like one of the things that made me really happy was when obviously Rage Against the Machine are probably one of the most political bands ever, and someone was kicking off at them for getting involved in politics.
Oh yes, I
It's
saw
like,
that tweet.
The band's name is Rage Against the Machine. And I like Anti-Flag always seems to get stick as well for like going against the government. It's like,
yeah, like every Facebook post or tweet that they have has some naysayers.
stay out of politics.
Like, what are you doing in politics? It's like, dude, read a lyric.
Also, everything is political.
Yeah.
This idea that you want to try and separate politics from your life is like a false idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is always kind of funny. People want to live in blissful, remove from that.
Right now, we'll step away from that before we get bleak, because this is the last. This is our last.
That's another podcast.
Yeah. I guess this is going to be our last one of the year, and as we say, it has been a pretty poor year, to put it mildly. But like, so 2021's coming. I'm putting this on you now. I'm prepared. What are you looking forward to in like 2021? Something hopeful and exciting.
Going to shows, hopefully. That's my main one. Traveling again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phase 19 for us, or for me anyway. Hopefully.
Yeah.
For you anyway.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about
You
you.
make it sound like Robin might come.
I'm gonna be there. I'll hang out with you there, Brett.
I think, being in sweaty venues with stale beer, it's that would be great. I miss even those things. And there's already like new music from next year that I'm anticipating. That's bands have already announced. So, they haven't been sitting idle. Music is being made probably as we speak right now.
I'm sure Taylor Swift will release another 3,
4, 5.
Yeah.
She might. I was thinking specifically because when I was putting together my list, like Drones are releasing a new album in January, and I was like, now I have to like earmark it, because like sometimes things that come out in January get lost by the time you get to December of 2021. And I was like, no, I will note this one.
Yeah.
So I'm already like, new music, new stuff. So that'll be great.
Yeah, that was the problem with Spanish love songs this year, because it was released in was it January or February, and we were doing our lists for the top 10s. I was like, oh yeah, that came out this year. It seems like such a long time ago. But then you've also got the bands like Less Than Jake or Red City Radio, who just released it like the very end of the year.
They just missed it.
Not thinking
as well.
of us blog people who are doing their end of year lists, and that will have to like delay to see if it's brilliant or not, and it's made it very stressful for me.
Yeah. I don't think Red City Radio would have made much.
Cool. Well, I think we'll wrap this up now, because we're getting the remaining meeting time things pop up again. Eventually, I will just decide to pay lots of money for Zoom and not have to blag bits. But I guess from Colin's Punk Rock World standpoint, thank you everyone who has been reading and watching and checking out the playlist, checking out the CPRW records comps, donating to charity. So, I mean, this year hasn't been the easiest for us in the way of, one, productiveness and content, because we haven't had gigs to write about, for one thing. And I personally haven't, because obviously everything that's been going on this year, I didn't want to like harass people for top 10s or other sort of content like that. I have lately been harassing Lara to come on podcasts quite a lot. But yeah,
it's all good. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Lara is now the member of the CPRW podcast team.
Thank you.
Yay!
yeah, so thanks. Next year, every year we try and get bigger and better, and next year we'll be the same, and well, hopefully we'll just get back to sort of 2019 levels of gigs and stuff to write about. But that'll be a pleasure, and I guess Merry Christmas, I suppose.
Sure, that must have been hard for you.
You just got it out.
Well, the time we're recording this, we've still got 10 days to go, so you don't want to find too many out.
I suppose, yeah, Merry Christmas, and hopefully 2021 is going to bring all the good things we hope for and a bit of relief from everything we've had to deal with this year.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a difficult year, isn't it? So hopefully next will be better. In Welsh, Merry Christmas is Nadolig Llawen. If you wanted to give it a go, you're welcome to. Nope. Okay.
I struggled enough saying your fest the other week. So.
Oh, it's all good. It's fine. You tried. It's all good.
Yeah. What is Christmas in South African?
Christmas.
We have 11 official languages, so
11.
One.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The Afrikaans is Robin's.
I can't think what it is in Afrikaans.
Kerstfeest or something.
Yeah, so Christmas is Kerstfeest.
Yeah, there you go.
Kerstfeest. 11 languages. That seems unnecessary. Spoken as a very ignorant Englishman who barely can speak his own language. 11 seems far too many. Right, yeah, so we're just rambling and talking nonsense now. So yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, stay safe, and we'll see you next year.
Take care.
Thanks, everyone.
See ya.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.